gold is loving it. I mean, it's also brought, we've got 4 more daily all-time high closes in the gold price already since he was inaugurated, adding to the 40 all-time highs that were posted since March of last year. So yeah, it's
all-time highs. And
yeah, I mean, gold went over $2,900 yesterday.
You're listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, where you get valuable information you just can't find anywhere else. To thrive in today's trying times, you need the Financial Survival Network, now more than ever. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and get your free newsletter and gift. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.
And welcome. You are listening to and watching the Financial Survival Network. I'm your host, Kerry Lutz. We are just getting started here in February. So much stuff going on. Price of gold at or near all-time highs. Silver starting to break out over $32 the ounce. And who better to get their take than David Erfle, juniorminerjunkie.com. David, glad you survived the fires intact. And our hearts go out to everybody who wasn't as fortunate as you. And I know you know a lot of them. They're all your friends and neighbors. But life goes on here. Meantime, higher gold prices. And what's going on here?
Yeah, thanks for having me on again, Kerry. It's basically we got week 3 of the Trump presidency, bringing more chaos and uncertainty into the marketplace. And gold is loving it. I mean, it's also brought, we've got 4 more daily all-time high closes in the gold price already since he was inaugurated, adding to the 40 all-time highs that were posted since March of last year. So yeah, it's
all-time highs. And
yeah, I mean, gold went over $2,900 yesterday. And now, it's having a nice little pause here, some healthy profit taking.
Which is
exactly.
And
right ahead of the right ahead of the non-farm payrolls report that's going to come out on Friday. But yeah, and there's just a lot of uncertainty. How is Bessent going to finance the deficit and all the debt? And we've got the tariff uncertainty. He announces tariffs, then announces a delay for a month for Canada and Mexico, and then he goes ahead and puts the tariffs on China, and they announce counter tariffs, and basically a trade war is on. And gold was basically in an eye of a perfect storm. The eye began in October. We had the gold price run up about $1,000 from late October 23 to late October 2024. Trump gets elected. That was basically sell the rumor. I mean, buy the rumor, sell the news.
Sell the news, yeah.
Right. Gold had gotten way ahead of itself, extremely overbought. It was a pause that refreshed. It was it had yet to have even a 5% correction during that $1,000 move from October 23 to 24. It corrected about 10%, consolidated for about 3 months. That was the eye of the perfect storm in gold. And now it's starting to continue again. And this time, though, it's taking the mining stocks and silver along with it.
Yes.
As you know, as anybody who's listening to who this interview right now knows and who follows this sector.
Oh yeah.
Both gold and both the miners and silver have been lagging for so long. And basically the mean reversion that we've been expecting, we've been hoping for and expecting is starting to happen now. A lot of these juniors are popping. And a big reason for this is Trump coming in and streamlining permitting process. Permitting process. That's a big one.
Look what he did with Trilogy. We used to work with Trilogy. And
exactly. The Ambler Road project.
Right.
Exactly.
Yesterday, he did an executive order concerning the Ambler Road project. If ever there was a case of really government wrongdoing, it was reaching back after Trump had left and revoking that permit and then engaging in litigation. It had been approved. I've never seen one that bad before, David.
Yeah. I mean, and that stock and that stock popped. Trilogy, it popped as soon as the market saw that Trump was going to be elected. As soon as the returns came in, the stock has tripled. And I mean, it's and I don't know if you heard yesterday, BC is following the same footsteps as far as a streamlining permitting process. They announced on 18 projects worth about $20 billion. They said that it's working to accelerate the permitting process on these 18 projects. And one of those projects is the SK Creek Gold and Silver project being de-risked by Skeena Resources, which is a stock that is in my portfolio and that I've been covering for my subscribers in my newsletter for the past year or so.
Yeah.
And the stock zoomed on that news, and there was a few others that also benefited by that news. And I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing a streamlined permitting process begin in other provinces in Canada too, especially in Quebec and Ontario, where there's a lot of mining projects.
Yeah. So things are really looking up for the sector, huh?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, if you take a look at a few levels that are very important here, on the GDX and the GDXJ, and the GDX, it's the $40 level. That was really strong resistance going back a few years, and it was during this bounce after we had we had the gold price run up 27% last year, and then at the end of the year the gold stocks just took a big dump following the Newmont debacle and their rising costs. And so at the end of the year, the gold mining index was the GDX was only up 13%, while the gold price was up 27%. And that basically got everybody throwing in the towel. So that $40 level in GDX, it's been breached now this week. If we get a weekly close above 40 and then a weekly close above 40, above 50 in the GDXJ, it's reached there right now, and it's become a little short-term overbought. That would be very bullish for the sector. And a few more dollars above that is where the recent highs were. And that would create a 3-month handle for a 4-year cup in both GDX and GDXJ. So remember, we had the 13-year cup and handle breakout of the gold price above 2,100 back in March of last year. So now we've got the same thing going on in not only GDX and GDXJ, but the silver price as well. And the number to watch in the silver price has been 33. We've got over $33 in its silver futures yesterday, and it's bouncing. There's seeing some profit taking there today, but we need to see basically a couple dollars higher. A strong close, weekly close above $35 in silver, that would create a 3-month cup to go along with a 4.5-year handle on the silver price. So we got the possibility of cup and handle breakouts in silver and the miners, and to go along with finally some mean reversion of the gold price. And like I said, a lot of these juniors, ones that I own and cover in my newsletter, have really started popping, and several on a watch list that I also have for my subscribers, they're starting to pop as well. So it is finally starting to happen in this sector. Yeah.
After all these years, David, we've been talking finally beginning to happen here. You saw like last month they painted the tape, and basically gold closed just under 2,800. Yeah.
Just under 2,800, and I was hoping that that 40 level in GDX and 40 at 50 level in GDXJ were going to get a monthly close in January above those levels, but it was not to be. But still, I mean, the way these juniors are acting now, the market expects it coming, and it's also happening on rising volume, which is what we need to see. And another thing to point out is the Canadian Venture Exchange, right? The TSX Venture. I mean, that's been in the doldrums for so long.
Oh my God.
Really low volume, I don't care about this sector volume, right? It's been left for dead. Well, it's created also a 2.5 year inverse head and shoulders accumulation bottom. And 640 is the level to watch on that. It peaked above there yesterday, and 640 is the neckline of that 2.5 year inverse head and shoulders bottom. If we get a strong close above 640 with some rising volume, you could see some explosive action in a lot of these juniors.
All right. So if you've been holding off subscribing to David's publication, now is probably a really good time to start, because it looks like we're on the brink or on the edge of a major move. And not to mention all the uncertainty in the U.S. with Doge, government spending, all this stuff that they're rooting out. The fraud, David, is just breathtaking.
It's incredible. Yeah, what Doge is uncovered already is just incredible.
Like Politico, $32 million we gave them, and Canada gave them money too. Nobody was giving us.
Chelsea Clinton, like $84 million.
$84 million.
The list goes on. Yeah.
It is breathtaking and staggering, and they barely scratched the surface of it,
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, gold is loving all this chaos and uncertainty, and I don't see a reason why it can't continue. $3,000 is the target is the initial target of the cup and handle breakout I mentioned earlier. And then the logarithmic target is $4,000 an ounce, and $3,000 an ounce is also the target of the symmetrical triangle breakout from that consolidation of the past 3 months.
All right. So what about silver? What do you think it's going to go up to?
Well, like I said, $35 is the number to watch, but I think I wouldn't be surprised if silver didn't challenge, if silver challenged the all-time high $50 level at some point before the end of the year. That might be a little too ambitious, but with silver, when it runs fast, and it runs high or low depending on the direction. Silver tanks as fast as it surges whenever there's these accumulation points. And, we've had, like I said, a 4.5 year accumulation in silver right around the $30 level. And the bigger the base, the higher in space. Right? I mean, that's basically what we got a setup here. And we've already seen it in the gold price. And now we've got the same setup, a year later in both the miners and silver.
Yeah. All right. Interesting times, that's for sure. David, just tell us where we find you, how we connect with you on the web.
Sure. Yeah. You can find me at juniorminerjunkie.com. And also every Friday, I have a column on Kitco that comes out Friday mornings.
All right.
If you'd like to get that in your inbox, all you have to do is basically sign up on my free email list when you log into my website.
Exactly. And hey, we have a link to that in the show notes on financialsurvivalnetwork.com. While you're there, we just ask you join over 70,000 other FSN community members, sign up for your free newsletter. And if you got a question for David, myself, always shoot me an email, kl@kerrylutz.com. David, always a pleasure. Stay safe. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Kerry. Looking forward to talking to you again.
Thanks for listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, your solution to today's trying times. For the latest, go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.